Al Horford has been the definition of a true veteran for this Boston Celtics team. He has stepped up tremendously for the Boston Celtics in their last 2 regular season games, and we're going to explore how impactful he has been in that stretch. We'll also be looking at Jaylen Brown's comments following the in-season tournament game on last night versus the Toronto Raptors. We'll also be looking at an ex-Celtic getting injured and how the Celtics have been lucky to avoid these injuries with their ex-players this season by trading them, and also looking at how the Celtics backcourt could be the best backcourt in the NBA. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. But before we get into any Boston Celtics content, I would like to say shout out to you guys for hitting us with the subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. We just hit 2,000 subscribers. We're on our way to get to 3,000 subscribers. So if you guys enjoy this content and make sure you want to stay up to date on everything Boston Celtics, trades, rumors, live streams, everything like that, hit that subscribe button and would greatly appreciate you guys joining the family. But let's get into the news at hand today. So make sure to grab a snack, get ready to go, as this is going to be a jam-packed episode for you guys. As the first topic we'll be divulging into is an ex-Celtic that is going to be out for a while. And we broke this down in a recent video talking about how Marcus Smart recently just got injured and he is going to be sidelined for a couple of weeks. We have a report here from Shams Charania saying last night that Marcus Smart, the Memphis Grizzlies' new acquired guard, is expected to miss several weeks with a left ankle injury. He is expected to be, he was expected to be in a boot, and he's expected to be sidelined for 3 to 5 weeks. In my prediction, I thought he was going to be only sidelined 2 to 3 weeks. This seems to be a little bit more of a severe ankle injury, and it is devastating for Marcus Smart and definitely devastating for the Memphis Grizzlies, as the Memphis Grizzlies already have started off with a terrible record, and they have other injuries on their roster. They have injuries to Brandon Clark, they have injuries to Steven Adams, and they also have John Morant on suspension. Marcus Smart adding that to the injury list is definitely not solid for this Grizzlies team, and it's definitely going to be looking like a bad season for them. Ultimately, it's upset for Marcus Smart as well. As a Celtics fan, I don't want to see ex-Celtics getting hurt, and unfortunately for these guys, ever since they've been traded from the Boston Celtics, it has not been a good thing for them. Guys like Robert Williams, who we've broken down, has a season-ending injury. A guy like Malcolm Brogdon, who was also moved for Jrue Holiday in that Portland Trail Blazers deal, has a hamstring injury and has been sidelined multiple games as well. Marcus Smart just recently got a 3 to 5 week ankle injury in the Kristaps Porzingis deal. The only player that has not gotten injured since that has been moved off the Celtics this season is Grant Williams, and we're hoping that Grant Williams can still have a successful season this year. But ultimately, we wish a speedy recovery for all 3 of those guys that have gotten traded for the Boston Celtics. And even though the Celtics have gotten a little bit lucky moving off of those guys and still having impactful pieces in Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, we still want our ex-Celtics to still succeed and still have healthy careers. So I'm definitely wishing the best of luck with them, and I hope that they can help succeed in getting healthy. But let's look at the next news at hand, which is Jaylen Brown not being a fan of the new in-season courts. I watched an interview where Jaylen Brown broke this down, and we have a tweet here from Jay King explaining how Jaylen Brown felt about the in-season courts. Jaylen Brown said that he slipped at the end of the game and he might have strained his groin, and if you guys did not see that at the end of the game, it looked a little bit scary. He said that in the in-season tournament court last night was slippery all game, and he called it unacceptable, and said that the NBA needs to make sure safety is an emphasis before somebody seriously gets hurt. I totally agree with Jaylen Brown. We definitely need to make sure that these courts are not slippery and that these courts and that these new jerseys aren't just used for revenue, as he did say in his whole interview and speech that obviously the in-season tournament is about revenue and it's a new experience. So obviously they're willing to work towards the better of it, but they also want their safety to be involved as well. I watched this interview with CLNS Media. It was Kristaps Porzingis and Jaylen Brown sitting next to each other, and they also asked some further questions that I'd like to explain. Jaylen Brown was asked about how this court in Toronto was compared to the Celtics court at home in their first in-season tournament game, and he said that the court at home was not slippery at all compared to this in-season tournament court. Jaylen Brown also prefaced that he had talked to other guys around the league, and that they had said that they had played on slippery courts around the league for the in-season tournament. When Kristaps Porzingis was asked about the court as being slippery, he said that he noticed it was slippery as well, and said that he noticed Jaylen Brown slip a couple of times before Jaylen Brown had strained his groin at the end of the game as well. Ultimately, what that says to me is that the court tonight definitely was not set foot and was definitely not a great court to be playing on, and they definitely need to take precautions into using these courts and making sure that these courts are ready to go before they just throw them on the ice or wherever they're throwing them on to play for the game, and so that these players do not slip. We need to make sure that the safety is in these players' hands, because if these players do get hurt due to the in-season tournament courts and due to the nature of the in-season tournament, fans are not going to be respective and responsive to the in-season tournament, and it's not going to get the response that the NBA wants. Hopefully the NBA can learn from this, and hopefully that we find out from from our guys and from around the league that these courts aren't slippery in the future. Let's look at some more news breaking down the stock exchange and getting some credit. The stock exchange, if you guys do not know, is the new nickname for our dynamic backguard duo, Derrick White and Jrue Holiday, and they recently just got some respect from a credited reporter. Jay Williams said on Get Up that Derrick White and Jrue Holiday are the best defensive backcourt in the league, and I would totally agree alongside him. I think that Jrue Holiday and Derrick White have been both ballers for the Boston Celtics and have definitely stepped up on the defensive side of the ball. As you guys can see, Derrick White has had one game since his return, since his kid, that he has not had a block in all season, and Derrick White has tremendously stepped up for this Boston Celtics team on both sides of the ball. If his name isn't called for on the offensive side of the glass, he is definitely helping out on the defensive side of the ball, getting steals and getting blocks, while Jrue Holiday has respectively been guarding the opposing team's best player, and for a lot of those matchups, it's been big mans. We've seen him guard Karl-Anthony Towns. We've seen him guard Joel Embiid. We've seen him guard Pascal Siakam. We've seen him guard all these big guys, and he's helped out tremendously for this Boston Celtics team on defense, even if his shots aren't falling. Jrue Holiday, in his quotes yesterday, in a report with The Athletic with Jay King, had mentioned that he was very, very happy to do whatever the Celtics want him to do. Get rebounds, go for blocks, get steals. Whatever his numbers called for that night, he's especially going to do. Last game versus the Philadelphia 76ers, he had to be a dominant offensive threat. Tonight, he did not have to be. He had to be more of a defensive threat. He definitely locked into that. And I truly agree with Jay Williams in thinking that both Derrick White and Jrue Holiday are the best defensive backcourt duo in the league. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you guys agree with Jay Williams? And lastly, we'll get into the last news at hand, which is Al Horford keeping it up and being a dominant force for this Boston Celtics team. If you guys don't know, Al Horford had a slow start to the season from shooting numbers, and not a lot of fans were responsive on Al Horford being a great player this season. I totally was still bought in, just needed him to get a little bit of light, and he definitely has showed that for us. We have a tweet here from Taylor Snow showing that Al Horford in his first 9 games was 6 for 26 from three-point range, only shooting 23%. But in his last 2 games, he is 7 for 12 from three-point range, shooting 58%, and definitely getting that number up. And that was the main concern with Al Horford this season, was his offense was not there. Last night, he had 2 big threes versus the Toronto Raptors to stop a Toronto Raptors run and to get the Celtics some insurance back on their side to get some momentum in the third quarter. And I thought that was huge for him as well. And the last game is also when he had to play versus the Philadelphia 76ers versus Joel Embiid. He hit some big-time shots for the Boston Celtics and also had 5 blocks for us as well. So Al Horford has definitely stepped up when his number has been called and has taken a big leap for this Celtics bench in the recent games. We've already seen recent leaps from Sam Hauser in the month of November. We've just seen the recent resurgence of Al Horford. I know a lot of fans are sleeping on Payton Pritchard. They don't want Payton Pritchard to be on this team anymore. But if we've just seen a recent resurgence from 2 of our bench guys, I definitely think a new resurgence could be seen soon. And I think Payton Pritchard's going to be the next guy to take that leap. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you guys satisfied with Al Horford and Sam Hauser's bench performances, or do you guys think the Celtics still need some upgrades at the bench? I greatly appreciate all your comments, and I love reading them down below. If you guys are still at this point in the video and still are not subscribed to this Celtics Digest, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the family. We know you enjoy the content and would greatly appreciate it. The Celtics take on the Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow, and I will have another post-game live breaking down all of that. So if that interests you guys have any questions between the Celtics versus Grizzlies game, make sure to join the live stream tomorrow, and we'll break it all down. I'm Bruce Veliz, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.